As a resident of Albion, I've seen it all. Life's a little stranger in my neck of the woods, see? There's Big Hand, for one thing. Controlling all our towns. Building all our buildings. Making weapons for our heroes.
Hello, Big Brew.
But what really freaks folk out is when Big Hand takes possession of them and goes exploring and questing. Fact is, Hand will even slide inside the mind of our pets if we let it. But we wouldn't have it any other way. Because Big Hand is our protector, see? Because once the sun's gone down, creatures of the night rise up. And come calling. We have heroes to stand and fight, of course, but Big Fingers is the keystone in this castle. Right now, we have a vacancy that needs filling. There's one seat empty in this story. That of the Master. Might you be the one to sit on his throne? Might you be the next Master of Albion?
Hello everyone, welcome to Talking Trailers, where we give our thoughts on some of the newest and hottest video game trailers on the internet. My name is Jason Winter, and this week I'm joined by Mr. Michael Byrne. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well, my friend. Always good to chat with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, and looking to talk about some really cool video game trailers I just looked at this week.
Yeah, some more than others.
So we're starting off with Masters of Albion, which you just saw in the lead into the show. And this is it's a god game. You know, you've heard about those before. Those have been around for quite a while, all the way back to like the 90s or so. You know, and this one is, they call it a reimagining of the god game genre. And they say it's from the creator who defined it back then. And we know who that is. That's Peter Molyneux, who has had some good and some bad through the years, mostly a little iffy as it's been the last few years. So is that a good thing or a bad thing to have his name attached to this project? What do you think?
That's kind of where like the question mark is for the entire thing. Like watching the trailer, you're like, oh, cool. Okay, Albion. So we're hitting the Fable world. This guy kind of got some flavor of, you know, Black and White, one of the very, very successful God games back in the day. This could be interesting. I liked how they were talking about the hand, like they could
Big
see
hand,
it,
yeah,
and it was a thing for them.
It's great.
So it was like, okay, that's all cool. And then it's 22 cans and Peter, who, I mean, he's not even the CEO of his own company anymore. He's a creative director. I forget his exact title now, just so he could get back into gaming because they had to do layoffs, and then they did the whole blockchain thing. And then Molyneux just has that entire history of wildly overpromising things. And I'm a little more hopeful for this, because I feel like there were a few more checks and balances above him on budget and things like that. It does look interesting. I like the idea of them adding combat into it too. Generally not something that you are directly involved in God games, where you're like taking over a character and having some third person combat. I don't know. Peter just I'm always just a little bit leery of anything Peter Molyneux is talking about or involved in until I can see it or get my hands on it.
Mhm.
And I feel a little bit like that here.
Yeah, it's
It's
like you
as
look
good as the trailer looks.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a lot of fun. You look at the Steam page too,
Yeah.
and it talks about all the different things you do. In addition to the God game stuff, as you see, you can control the individual characters. You go off on quests. You do this. You do city building, and it's like, wow, that sounds really cool, really ambitious.
Yeah.
It's Peter Molyneux, a guy I want handling a really ambitious game, though.
Right.
That's
but
the big
that
question.
was the thing too. Like the trailer didn't seem to be promising things that they couldn't show off. Right? They were like, we're doing combat. Here's combat. Here's how you can, throw barrels. Here's how you can build. Here's how you can do that. And we saw each and every one of those features, and they very clearly called it out that this is in-game footage. Like this was not something that they generated as a trailer per se, where they just made assets for that. If we take them at their word and all of that, I think it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I just have that little bit of caution when it's Peter. That's all.
Exactly.
Oh, I do think it's funny though, Jason, that like it's Masters of Albion, so they're trying to harken back to the Fable days, but the new Fable is coming soon in Albion and has nothing to do with Peter Molyneux and 22 cans anymore, obviously.
I actually saw an
selling reasons.
Saw an interview with Peter where he said it's not related to the Fable Albion.
Right.
It's not really.
Yeah, okay.
Just
Sure,
using
then
the
name it anything else.
Exactly. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's a sort of game where I'll look into it, but I kind of want to wait for the early reviews, see what people are saying about it, to get an idea, make sure it releases in a decent enough state. So
yeah, this is one where the reviews, I think, I won't necessarily be looking at the reviews for the scores, because this is a very, like, if you don't like, Civ games or God Gen games and stuff like that, then you're going to score it a 6 or a 7, even if it's a decent version of a God genre game. But I am going to be looking at those reviews just to get an idea of the gameplay, of the features, because I know I like those types of games. And if they're done well, I'd score them 8s and 9s. 22 Cans kind of has a checkered history at best when it comes to any game. So I want to see the game in action, regardless of what somebody's going to score it, before I put down some money.
Well, if you're interested, it comes out on April 22nd, 2026, early access launch. So just about 3 months from now. So give it a look if you're interested. All right. Our next trailer is going to be for Styx Blades of Greed, which is a stealth action theft assassination kind of game coming out from Cyanide Studios, published by Nacon. So here's a look.
Ooh, this little baby might come in handy later. How about making up a new toy to play with? Watch your step, buddy. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
Stop! I know you're there. Come.
Yeah, freebies. Ah, looks like the document I need to falsify. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Styxmas!
I'll never get used to cooking red, no matter how many times I do it.
Hey,
Guess what?
what's taking
You're
you
on
so
my
long?
naughty list.
We're waiting for our meals.
Ha! Buddy? What, buddy? Skip the poison. Let physics handle this one. Hey, I got thanks for the stamp.
Let's put
Now,
that
back to the
very
lift.
legitimate document on the
Ha! I told you it'd come in handy. The penthouse, please. 2 guards to deal with.
Have you seen Rice? Since
Let's
he came back from the
divide
front?
and conquer.
Yeah, he's in a pretty
Say
bad
hello
state.
to my little friend.
Pension.
And they say crime don't pay. Look at this little beauty.
All right, that was a snippet, just a snippet of the gameplay trailer recently released for Styx Blades of Greed. It's about a 9-minute trailer overall. We only showed you a couple minutes there. You can go and find it on YouTube. We'll have links down below where you can see everything that we've linked here as well. But this is a game that's right up my alley. I've always loved a good like stealth, theft, assassination, being sneaky and going around like that, plotting your route and using all sorts of different tricks to do that sort of thing. I don't like just wading in and chopping everything up with an axe or whatever. I like using different powers to do that sort of thing. So yeah, this is something that I really am looking forward to. I think it could be a really fun game. It's the 3rd in the series, or at least in the main series. So there was like a previous
In
game
the
to
Styx
it.
series, yeah.
Yeah, the Styx series, which was based off a previous game, but in terms of this kind of game, this kind of action.
Of gods and orcs, of orcs and
Yeah,
orcs
something
and
like
men.
that.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
it's of orcs and men.
Of Orcs and Men, right. But yeah, this one comes out pretty soon, just next month in February, and there's a demo available now on Steam, so trying to decide if I want to check it out, because it looks really cool. What do you think?
So I'm definitely going to check out the demo. I didn't want to do it ahead of this, where we were just kind of giving trailer impressions
Sure.
and let that taint anything. But I'm with you. This may be my favorite one that we're doing on
It's
the,
mine
the
too,
show
yeah.
today. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of the Styx games previous to this, even though they were like middling scores, 7s out of 10s type deals.
Yeah.
The Thief series, going back to Splinter Cell way back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
when Splinter Cell was first a thing, not some of the newer titles. I love Styx the Goblin. I love some of the mechanics you can use. Don't worry, he does not talk in the game as much as he talks in this trailer. They did some
Oh, that's a
post-production.
shame. I like it.
Well, yeah, he didn't shut up in the trailer.
That's true.
like,
I mean,
at all.
a bit excessive, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of just like giving you internal dialogue so that you could see the player had options. He does talk, just not as much. I am all about this one. I will be playing the demo once we are done with the show, and I fully intend that that's going to be enough to get a purchase out of me. 100%.
Yeah, same as you. I've been doing the stealth action genre going back, decades, all the way back to like Metal Gear, that kind of thing. And
Oh yeah.
the Tenchu games, remember those on PlayStation? Those
Oh,
were great.
Tenchu 1 and Tenchu 2. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Dishonored, stuff like that. So yeah, the only thing I wonder about is like, obviously in the demo they were showing off, like they do this whole mission in like 7.5 minutes. There's a little story here and there before, and he's just zipping through it. Like I would take like half an hour to do that at least. 'Cause I'm sitting there waiting not to trigger the guard or whatever before I go forward. Looking at this
It
path.
is one of
going
those
back
things too that I'm going to be interested
Yeah.
to not only speed run myself, but watch speed runs.
No, I do slow
too.
runs.
Once you know the mechanics of the level, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Yeah. So, all right. That was Styx Blades of Greed. Like I said, comes out February 19th on PC, PS5, and Xbox.
Yep.
So our next game is a little less stealthy, I think, than Styx is. It's called 14 Years of Flames. And this is one that I just had absolutely no idea existed, but I saw the trailer, I thought it looked cool, and hopefully you will too. Let's take a look. All right, that was a trailer for 14 Years of Flames, which is, hey, it's a World War II action shooting game. We've had a million of those, right? Well, yeah, this one's a little different, though, because it takes its place, as you can see, it's from the Chinese point of view. You know, we've had a lot of games that have a very European point of view, you know, a little bit of like Russian, Japanese here and there, but never so much from the Chinese point of view, but they were a major player in World War II. You kind of, again, you don't think of them as much when you're playing your Call of Duties or whatever. You think of mostly the Western powers. But yeah, China definitely had a lot to do with it, obviously.
You forget some of the other players in the Axis and Allies, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's obviously a very intense game, very violent, just a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, so what do you think about this one, Mike?
So, okay, like I'm not, if you followed me in any capacity over the last 20 years, you know that I'm not huge into the first person shooting genre. So this kind of already had a down tick for me. The trailer was probably one of the most visceral trailers I've seen in a while. And like we've seen the Resident Evils and the Xenomorphs, and we've seen people decapitated in sci-fi games and stuff. But this was kind of brutal. I'm with you. I do like the take on this isn't going to be a game that's taking place on Germany's soil or, you know, the beaches of Normandy or any of the usual suspects for your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, your things like this. I do like that's a bit different in that China-Japanese conflict. I do like the approach they're taking here campaign-wise, where it's multiple characters throughout years and some key battles, and you're seeing a bit of narrative go with them too. I think there's going to be a little bit, you had mentioned like you didn't even know this was a thing. I think there's going to be a little bit of challenge from what I was able to glean from the discussion forums on this one in the number of languages that it's available in and or subtitled in. So that may be something you want to watch to see, make sure that it's obviously supported in some type of language that you can understand and or read if it's only in subtitles. I don't think this one is for me, but man, it was a super interesting trailer, and I could see why somebody that's in that first-person shooter World War II type vibe, this might be a very different experience for those types of players. I'm just not one of them. Yeah,
it is unsurprisingly by a Chinese developer, Fengwell Studios. So
that also does like kind of open up, you know, how much of this is historically accurate versus Chinese propaganda, right? The United States does it too. I'm not.
I was about to say, our war games are kind of the same.
I'm not saying, but just, you know, pay attention to the creators before you go, oh, this is based on 100% fact.
And based on what you said, it does have at least an English Steam page. So obviously, at least doing that translation, that localization. But yeah, the only thing I watched when I was first watching it, and then before I read the description, I was like, this looks like a Battlefield or something like that. I'd like to have this be a multiplayer game with all sorts of stuff going on. But it is, as you said, single player. You take the roles of 7 different characters in different campaigns. So it should provide a lot of variety. Let's say there's some little bit of spy work in addition to just the plain old shooting and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how this one turns out. Like I said, this is probably the most likely of everything we're looking at today to be just kind of a disaster, maybe if it doesn't come out right the way you say, and if it has the various other issues, but could also be pretty good. Could be a new thing that people are really interested in.
Yeah, it's one I'll watch just out of curiosity, but I wouldn't be buying or playing.
Yeah, make for great streams. I'd love to watch someone play this, for sure. All right, our next trailer is for Pathologic 3, and it's a little less visceral, as you said. Well, actually, there's some viscera, so we'll get into that. But
there's some viscera.
Viscera, yeah. All right, so let's take a look at Pathologic 3.
The town has fallen victim to the plague, or to my arrogance. I have to fix it. I only have 12 days, but any of them can become my starting point. Sometimes just being a doctor isn't enough to defeat it. Finding symptoms, exposing people's lies, while I treat one patient. The plague devours whole districts. I must take power into my own hands to save more lives. Every choice I make changes this town. It changes people's fates. but at what cost? But in this place, clock arms don't go in circles. They spiral out of control. So how can you tell what needs fixing and what doesn't? There is no right path. So I will make my own. Each day that passes brings the disaster closer, or moves it further away. Which will it be?
All right, so that was the trailer for Pathologic 3. Definitely a more cerebral game than everything else we've seen today, probably. A lot of investigation, it almost gives you a little feel like at some points you're looking at it and thinking like Papers, Please in sort of a way. Like you have to look at visual clues and so on. And it has a little bit of the, not exactly a town management game, but you have things like we have to decide, do you want to take this decision to stop the spread of the disease? And then also, but it makes people mad. So you've got a lot of these different abilities, a lot of these different choices in how you approach the game. And it's going to be really interesting to see how you can pull all that off and create a really, I guess, compelling game experience when you're trying to accomplish something that you don't really see a whole lot in video games, fighting diseases. What are the mechanics of that? We saw a little bit in the trailer with them looking over the blood in the microscope and so on. And it's interesting to see how you can gamify that sort of thing and what the results are going to be.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know this was a series, and I don't know how I missed it. I am like huge psychological horror guy. I love those types of games. I didn't play Pathologic or Pathologic 2. I know though there was like a Kickstarter and things like that, and then they ended up giving 3 to the backers for 2 for free. Like, so it seems like the company themselves are, doing good by the fans. But watching the trailer, yeah, to your point, I did get some feels of that old game Vampire, where there was like a science aspect to things, but trying to gain the trust of the town and things as you go. And then they introduced time travel, and it's like, hey, you made a mistake on day 4. Let's go back and do day 4 again, and maybe do things a different way. Probably my second favorite trailer on today's show. It seems like it's right up my alley. In a bunch of different ways. It hits like 3 or 4 different genres, to your point. There's even like a little bit of God genre, like we talked about earlier, and trying to manage the expectations of the town as you go. Yeah. I really, really like this, and the time travel element of a game like this, if done well, could be really, really interesting, and it's already out.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to wait. Came
out last week, January 16th, or January 9th. You can go ahead and get it now, But yeah, like you said, it's very cerebral, very, very different, the kind of gameplay than what you're used to in a lot of games, but a lot of different genres, as we mentioned. But yeah, I think it could be really good if they could pull it off. Now, like I said, this Pathologic 3, the first Pathologic was a game from like 20 years ago, 2005.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, you could follow 3 different routes to try and solve this disease with 3 different characters. Pathologic 2 was just the route of one of those characters. It was a remake, and this is another one of those characters in Pathologic 3. So you don't have to have played the other ones. Don't worry about it. It's not a sequel. You got to know all the lore and whatever. Totally standalone. And you can stand right in it right now. Get in it right now and try it out.
$28 on sale right now, and already has over 1,100 reviews at very positive. So I am quite hopeful for my playthrough of this.
And you can also get the bundle where you can buy all the previous games as well. So if you're really into it, there you go. All right, we've got another trailer to look at now. It's called ExeKiller. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the world of ExeKiller. We are Kasia and Amadeus, the creators of the game.
And this is Gameplay Overview. ExeKiller is a first-person action-adventure game that encourages exploration, rewards curiosity,
and never holds your hand.
You play as Denzel Phoenix, an ExeKiller, a corporate bounty hunter.
ExeKillers hunt down fugitives, and reclaim souls from those who try to escape the system.
One of the game's main hubs is the Tower, a massive fortress city ruled by the Hellion Corporation. This is where you accept contracts, upgrade your gear, and prepare for missions.
Job well done, contract fulfilled.
The game is structured in chapters, and almost everyone begins and ends in the Tower.
Outside the tower lies a harsh, scorched desert. You travel through it in a heavily modified car designed to protect you from extreme conditions such as heat and radiation. Inside the vehicle, you have access to your computer, storage, and a working radio.
From your...
Survival is a core part of the experience.
Inventory space is limited, and every item matters, forcing players to make careful decisions about what to carry and what to leave behind.
Hellion's high-tech systems allow you to hack devices, pick locks, and access restricted areas.
Your cybernetic implants help you uncover hidden elements and investigate the environment. Missions and level design are fully non-linear. There's no single way to complete a contract. Stealth, dialogue, and combat are all valid approaches and can be freely combined.
In ExeKiller, every decision matters.
What's it gonna be? Plata or muerte?
Wishlist ExeKiller on Steam.
All right, that was the trailer for ExeKiller. That is how it's pronounced. I was wondering about it when I first watched it, but yeah, that's how it's pronounced. I thought it was ExeKiller or EXeKiller or something like that.
Or EXE, yeah.
ExeKiller. But yeah, and the theme for today seems to be mixing of genres. Because I see this and it first starts out and I'm thinking cyberpunk. I'm thinking kind of this futuristic kind of, Night City kind of thing.
Halfway through the trailer to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, and then it turns into Fallout 4 or Fallout series, whatever. Yeah, that is the story of it. Apparently it takes place in the 1990s, but 20 years ago there was a great disaster. I can't remember if it's 30% of people died or 30% are left. One of those two, but it's pretty bad, so... Yeah, it's a wasteland out there. You got to go off and do... It's called semi-open world. So I don't know exactly what that means, but it looks like it's pretty open world and certainly open in the way you can attack your objectives using stealth, using combat, so on and so forth. That gives it, again, a bit more of that kind of cyberpunk Fallout kind of feel, how you choose to do things. Choices matter, that sort of thing. And yeah, I love the idea, and I think it looks really great.
Yeah, and one of the things too they made a point to talk about, particularly on the Steam page, is that don't expect like a leveling up progression or something like that where you just naturally become more and more powerful. It's all about how you pick to spec your character with different abilities or different buffs. Your level is your level. Like there is no level. It just seems like to me. I mean, this is Paradark Studio. This is their debut title. They're an independent studio. It's their debut title. So there's always that question mark. Like you don't know what to expect as far as the game itself and then its level of quality. The trailer was all over the place for me. Like I was like, oh, it's a Western, which I don't really care about. Oh, well, wait, it's kind of post-apocalyptic, which I do kind of care about. Oh, it's first-person shooter, which, yeah, I don't really care about. But wait, there seems to be a lot more going on here with like puzzle solving and having to figure things out, which I do care about. Like I just kept going back and forth throughout the entire thing. I'm going to put it right in the middle of my personal list today. I want to see what it has to offer, but I don't know if I'd be shelling out cash based on just this trailer on day one. It would be one just like Masters of Albion, where it's like I need to see a review or watch somebody play this a little bit to see exactly what I'm getting into, because I don't think the trailer kind of nailed enough what exactly I'm going to be getting into.
Yeah, especially being from a new studio, like you say, Paradark is a studio from Poland, doesn't really have much that we know of right now. And yeah, when you have all these...
they call this their debut title.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
When you have assisted on other.
Well, I was just wondering if there were people, people that were involved, but no.
Right.
But and like you say, you're doing all these different things, all these different aspects. Can they pull all that together and make it into a coherent game?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that year over year, right?
Yeah.
There's always games that try to appeal to 3 or 4 different audience groups, and then just don't hit any of those enough to appeal to any of them.
And those from established developers.
Right, and I'm worried this could fall into that bucket.
Yeah, you never know. So I agree with you. I want to take a look at it and see what it's like when it first comes out, what people are saying, and what the reviews are, and then we'll see.
Yep.
Okay, well, that is our show for today, but hang on, we got one more trailer for you. We're just going to show that to you right at the end here. Won't have any commentary afterwards, so we'll just leave you with one more on our way out. This one is called Vanran, and it's a Souls-like game coming from Bicusus Studio. They have a demo available next week, January 23rd through 30th.
Yep.
It is described as a dark fantasy action RPG. Ooh, shiny.
This one's good.
Yeah. So take a look at that and let us know in the comments what you thought of the show, what you thought of the trailers, and if there's anything else you'd like to see. You can also take a look at us. Our socials are, I don't know, left or right, which way it is in them. I'll have to take a look at that when I do the editing, make sure I know where that is. But Mike, it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming out, and I hope to have you back soon.
Always my pleasure doing things with you, my friend. Anytime you want to do it, I'm game to watch some trailers. You know it.
Your game. Ha, funny.
Ah.
All right. Until next time, take it easy out there and play safe. Bye-bye.
I am Caleb, Grand Marshal of the North. I fell to the king, who used demons to rule us. Into the dark, I fall. My vengeance will spread. Nothing will stop me. To survive, I must kill. If I become a monster, so be it. Their only peace is death.
From this moment, your name is Vanran, the title of a slave chained to the demon realm. There is no escape. Not now, not ever.